So we finally get a movie where we get a Michael Myers that's pissed off and he wins at the end. Something we've all been just kind of aching for a long ass time. Did it live up to the hype though? Well, it's complicated.
If you like horror, hit that notification bell, smash that like button, and push that subscribe button now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Nick Push. Welcome back to my 10 Burning Questions series where I go through 10 burning questions I have for each movie in the Halloween franchise. And that's right, we are up to Halloween Kills now from 2021. And man, this is a complicated movie. I did a live stream on this movie, I don't know, 6 months ago, something like that, where I was just kind of talking about the highs and lows of this movie because this movie has some of the biggest highs in the franchise, which we're going to get into. But then it has some of the lowest lows of the franchise, which we're also going to get into. So it's one of the most frustrating movies in the franchise for me. There's a lot of things to like about it, and there's a lot of things that I hate about it. So without further ado, let's just get into the 10 burning questions I have. And as always, give me your answers to these questions, guys, in the comments. And also, if you have any questions of your own or any clever anecdotes or, I don't know, you guys are good at all that shit. So let's get right into question number one. Question number one. How dumb is the city of Haddonfield in this movie? My God. So, after 40 years of not listening to Laurie, she's finally right, with the events of 2018. And then we get into later that night. And we get into the mob mentality, as Jamie Lee Curtis says. Jamie Lee Curtis liked to make some of this mob stuff about what happened on January 6th, 2021, right? Even though this was filmed and written before then, irrelevant. It's not what we're here to talk about. What we are here to talk about, though, is how fucking dumb the city of Haddonfield is. And there's so many instances of it, but I think the main thing is, they are chasing what they think is Michael Myers. They see a picture of James Jude Courtney on TV. It's blurred out for us, right? But they see it. They see a description of Myers on TV. And then they corner this Trevoli, or whatever the fuck his name is, at the hospital. There's hundreds of people chasing him. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. They're chasing him. And he looks nothing like Myers. He's like 5'4", fat and bald. I got a picture of this guy. Let me show you what this guy looks like. Picture James Jude Courtney now in your head, who's 6'4", chiseled, nice great beard. That's who they think they're chasing. And then they get this guy. This is the Trevoli guy. The guy that everyone says is Danny DeVito. And this guy, this poor sap, it looks like he's from fucking Mississippi or some shit. Finally, jumps to his death because the whole town is chasing him. He's obviously a little slow too because he was in the mental institution. It's just fucking ridiculous. So Haddonfield, to answer that question, really fucking dumb. They are really fucking dumb. And I know what they're going for. Mob mentality, misinformation, all that shit. It would have worked if you had someone that was like sort of a similar build, maybe. But this? No. I'm sorry. All right. Question number 2. Should we have gotten more flashback? I could talk about the flashback for a while. I'm not going to go on a flashback rant here, but I fucking loved the flashback. I've said it before in videos. I remember seeing this in the theater, opening night, and, the flashback came on, and I started gripping, like, the chair handles in the movie theater. It felt like I was on a roller coaster. Like the second that kicks in, it's like, holy shit. Awesome. We're going to talk more about the flashback later on. But the question here is, should we have gotten more flashback? What did we get? Maybe 12, 18 minutes tops? Probably not even that, right? Obviously, well done. Like I said, we'll talk about, the specifics about it a little bit later. But should we have gotten more of this? We're stuck with some other shit, hospital shit, right? Should we have gotten more of the flashback? My answer to this, and the flashback's my favorite part of the movie, but my answer to this is no. We had just enough, and it's time to get out before you fuck it up. Now, their track record overall is questionable, but their track record with the entire flashback is pretty damn good. So it's possible they might have been able to, get something else out of this. But for me, you hit a home run, something I was very concerned about. You hit a home run and you got out of Dodge before you fucked it up. That's a win for me. That is a big win. And there's so many times I will turn on this movie just for the flashback. I got 20 minutes to spare, boom, put on the flashback. It's that fucking good. So I don't think, as much as we all probably would have wanted more flashback, I don't think getting more of it was, the right thing. So I think they did a good job of kind of just whetting our appetite and, like I said, getting out of Dodge before they fuck it up. Question number 3, another scene that was kind of talked about a lot in the build up to this movie, and that's the firefighter scene. Did the firefighter scene live up to your expectations? We know we kind of saw part of it in the trailer, right? But did the entire thing live up to what you thought it would be or what you hoped it could be in your mind? For me, I always said before this movie that we shouldn't see Michael escape. It'd be more mysterious, more like, oh my God, how did he get out of that? It would add to the mystique of Myers. I also had the caveat that I knew they were going to show it because Michael Myers in a burning building killing a bunch of fucking firefighters or EMTs or whatever was marketing gold. And it was a great scene, right? It was badass. The second that gun rack opens up, it's like, holy fuck. And then he just starts going to town. A little Jason-y, right? But it fits the movie that we're in. So did it live up to your expectations? It lived up to mine. Like I said, I'd rather not see it, but we saw it and it was great. So that's question number 3. Question number 4. It's a 2-parter here. The best and worst character in this movie. For me, best character may surprise a lot of you. The best character for me in this movie was Lonnie Elam. I can't believe I'm saying that. I thought he was fucking fantastic. Robert Longstreet, who played him, he just, something about him, it was just great. When he pulls up to the Myers house, and I'm taking my kid in the Lion's Den or where the fuck he says, he is the one character from, the legacy characters who I thought really, really knocked it out of the park as an actor, and I thought he was well written and likable. He's talking to Allison about her dad. He's there for Cameron. Him and Tommy are friends again. I thought it would have been an easy thing to make him still be an asshole, kind of like a Biff Tannen to Tommy, to Tommy's George McFly or something like that. I thought it was well written that, they're buddies, man. Like, Lonnie was an asshole. He was a kid, though. He was a fucking little kid. So I thought Lonnie was great. Worst character, probably easiest question on here for me. It's fucking Tommy Doyle. Tommy Doyle sucks ass in this movie. Anthony Michael Hall sucks ass in this movie. And it breaks my heart to say that because that was probably the thing I was most excited. Probably the part of this movie, casting-wise, I was the most excited for. When I heard they're bringing these legacy characters back, I'm going to talk about that. I was excited, cautiously optimistic, but excited. And then they cast Anthony Michael Hall, who is a good actor. He's shit in this movie, but he's a good actor. So I was excited. I was like, all right, I buy that that's Tommy Doyle 40 years after 1978. He kind of looks like him, certainly more than Paul Rudd, right? And I know Anthony Michael Hall's a good actor because I've seen him be good in a lot of things. I don't know if it was the writing. It probably was because the writing in this movie, holy fuck, it's terrible. So I think the writing, they didn't give him enough to work with. But still, a great performance would have at least elevated it a little bit, and I got fucking nothing from this guy. Terrible character, terrible performance, terribly written, just fucking awful. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative here, like, I'm really, really not, but that's how bad I think Tommy Doyle, Anthony Michael Hall is in this. And Anthony Michael Hall, if you're watching this, I know you're not, but if for some reason you are and someone clips this and says, oh man, this guy's just railing on Anthony Michael Hall, keep this clip in. Anthony Michael Hall, you're great in a lot of things. You just were not great in this movie. You sucked. It's okay. I have days where I suck too. You guys might be watching this right now and thinking today's one of those days. Anyway, let's move on. Question number 5. What if the legacy characters actually mattered? What kind of movie would we get? Because let me tell you something. They don't fucking matter in this movie. None of them. None of them. Whether it's Tommy. Like I said, I like Lonnie. It doesn't matter, though. Marion. God. bracket. Oh. Lindsay. Okay, Lindsay, all right. She had that good chase scene. But other than that, she just disappeared. Everyone loves Lindsay Wallace in this movie. Eh. I don't think Kyle Richards is a good actress. I'm just railing on these people today, aren't I? But I don't think Kyle Richards is a good actress. I know people love her. She's in this movie, and she made it to Halloween Ends because she's friends with Jamie Lee Curtis. That's the only reason. She was decent in this. She was probably, of those legacy characters, she is probably the most decent. And she has a great scene with Myers, right? Let's give, I'm railing on her, but let's give her props and her due for that scene. It's a great scene. But these legacy characters didn't matter at all. They were fodder, which is disappointing because these are legacy characters from 1978's Halloween. The only chance we'll ever get that again in the same timeline, Crazy. I wish they weren't just there for fan service, for canon fodder, for us to be like, oh, it's him from 1978. Oh, that's Lindsay. She loved horror movies. Oh, Marion. She was no. They're just there to get killed and to say stupid lines. But at least Lindsay had a good scene. All right, moving on. Hey, positive question. All right. Number 6. Did Karen and Cameron redeem themselves as likable characters from the previous movie? Okay, so Karen was not very likable in Halloween 2018. That was by design, right? Laurie was a shitty mother, she had a Christmas sweater, blah, blah, blah. She might have had a little bit of redemption with the gotcha moment. But was she redeemed in this movie? We'll get to Cameron in a second. I think she was. I think she was a great character in this movie. Really great character. And like I said in the 2018 video, I like Judy Greer. Always have. She's not amazing, but she's good. She's solid. And every time you see Judy Greer, I'm just like, hey, all right, I like Judy Greer. I think she was really good in this movie. Whether it was the hospital scenes, her trying to protect Laurie, whether it was, conversation with Allison, whether it was, trying to stop this guy from trying to kill himself and jump off a Haddonfield Memorial, or whether it was, luring out Myers again. Although I don't like the line, like, I'm an innocent woman, just like your sister. Yeah, I didn't like that line. But overall, Karen, very great character in this movie, and she got, unfortunately, the shocking moment at the end of this movie where she was killed. Let's talk about Cameron. Cameron obviously had a douche move. If he wasn't a douchebag, he certainly had a douche move in Halloween 2018. Cheating on Allison with Cheetah Girl. And then the biggest douchebag move was throwing her phone in is that pudding? Something. But anyway, Cameron comes, and the fact that the movie started with Cameron and it worked was pretty cool. But Cameron, wearing the skirt the whole movie, he's really likable in this movie for me. He did redeem himself. He's kind of got like a Brady-like arc where he's a douche, he's tempted, and then he tries to redeem himself, and he ends up, getting a fucking brutal death. Really brutal death. Might be the most brutal death in this trilogy. As far as like pain and shit. Man, that's bad. Oh. But I really like Cameron in this movie. So Cameron and Karen, that's a tongue twister, both redeemed themselves in my eyes. How about you? Did you guys find them likable in this movie? Question number 7. Where were they going with that window? Man, the amount of times the window is mentioned, or Myers is staring out the window, or Karen is staring up at the window and seeing a young Myers, or Karen is staring outside the window. Or the deputy in the flashback is staring outside the window. Myers was staring out the window before that because you have the footprints. The conversation between young Hawkins and the deputy, whatever his name is, about he just stood out there staring at his window. Where were they going with that? I remember making theory videos before Halloween ends. Oh, that'll be a fun one. But I remember making theory videos about where they could go with this, blah, blah, blah. And it was all kinds of crazy shit, right? Because we didn't know. But clearly they were setting up something. What could it have been? He was staring into the ether of evil? I don't know. Do you guys have a theory on what the window was supposed to be before COVID happened and they turned into chicken shits and rewrote shit? Or they wanted to throw their politics in shit and rewrote shit? Where were they going with that window? I don't know, but I'm fascinated by it and I need some type of answer on it. All right, question number 8. what is the most cringeworthy line of dialogue in this movie? For me, I have two. And it's not Evil Dies Tonight, because that would be too easy, right? That's a whole fucking other topic. My God. But I have two. Number one is Marion Chambers saying, "This is for Dr. Loomis." Really? Fucking lame. So that is tied with Sheriff Brackett's, "You know, it's Halloween, Michael. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare." What? Clearly that wasn't meant for Michael. It was meant for us, right? It's like the line with Laurie saying The Shape in 2018, right? It's meant for us. It's meant for... It's fucking stupid. Even if, like, it meant something, like, because it had some memory of his from 1978, you think he would remember that? A throwaway line on the sidewalk with Laurie? Hours before his fucking daughter was killed? It should have been like, "This is for my Annie." You know? Like, what the fuck, man? Oh, they're just bad. They're just bad. And they're just tip of the iceberg with this fucking movie. The dialogue is atrocious. But like I said, there are a lot of good things. Let's get back to the good things. Let's talk about the best and worst part of the flashback for question number 9. Let's get to the worst first, and then we'll talk about the best. The worst for me was Loomis speaking. Now, just the way he said it. Like, it was unnecessary. "Deputy Hawkins," or "Officer Hawkins," or whatever the fuck he says. Did Michael kill again?" Like, the way he says that is just weird. You should not have had him speak. Now, the look of him, and was it like Tom Jones or something? It's not unusual. No, but I think his name was Tom Jones. But the look of him was fantastic. Like, I thought that was great. You know, I bought that was Loomis, and the fact that it wasn't CG, it was practical makeup and effects and all that, was awesome. But unnecessary to have him speak. It didn't ruin the flashback for me, but it kind of ruined that scene. Now, let's talk about the best part. I can't choose, guys. I can't choose. But if I had to choose, it would be every minor detail they fucking nailed. Starting with the second it kicks into 1978, and you hear the score from 1978. It's like, holy fuck. And then Myers disappears around the alley, right? And then all of a sudden they're at the Myers house, and you look and you get like the panning shot of the Myers house, and you see the gutter smashed from earlier that night. Then you walk in, you see the wallpaper, you see the dog. All those minor details that they just fucking nailed. It felt like that same night, and I can't believe they pulled that off. So as much shit as I'm giving this movie, and I've given it a lot in this video, as much shit as I am giving this movie, I am thankful that it exists because of that flashback. It's fucking incredible. There's also a lot of great Myers moments in current time, you know, in Halloween Kills, not the flashback. There's a lot of great Myers moments, whether it is, you know, the Phil and Sandra scene, the Lindsay Wallace scene, like I talked about, all the scenes at the Myers house with Big John, Little John, all that shit is great. But the flashback is what makes this movie watchable for me, and why I will keep coming back to parts of this movie. Wrapping it all up with question number 10. This is a question for you guys. Where does this sit for you in your ranking of the David Gordon Green trilogy? Where does it sit? There's obviously only 3 movies in this trilogy. Is it number 1? Is it better than 2018? Is it better than Halloween Ends? Is it in the middle? You know, does it go right in order for you? 2018 Kills, Ends. Maybe it goes Ends, Kills 2018. I'm guessing for most people it's either 1 or 2, because we're going to talk about Ends within the next day or two. But I'm guessing it's in the middle. But tell me, what's your favorite part of this movie too? You know, is it the flashback? Is it Myers? Is it this guy? Travoli or whatever the fuck his name is? Tell me your favorite part of this movie. And like I said, where does this sit in the David Gordon Green trilogy ranking for you? So that is my 10 burning questions for Halloween Kills, which came out in 2021. We have 1 Halloween movie left, and boy is it a divisive one. And I know you guys are excited to hear me talk about that because everyone loves Halloween Ends, right? All right. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one.